Hi guys, what's up? It's Joel Pitt here, back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing a review for a movie that I seen yesterday on Now TV. This is called American Pie. In the last video I did a review for Mr. Deeds, which I'll leave a link to down below. Of course there's going to be spoilers in this film review, so without further ado, let's get on with it. Now there are 3 other movies in this trilogy of films, and I did watch all of them yesterday. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to review this one, then do the next 3 today, and then upload them. So this film was released on the 9th of July 1999 in the US, but in the UK it was released on the 8th of October 1999. It's got a 3.5 star rating on Now TV. The old Universal logo showed as well, because in new universe, films now that are, made by Universal, it's got the new logo, and one of the films of this trilogy has it, which I'll mention when I do that video. So we see Jim Levenstein, who's played by Jason Biggs, who's watching inappropriate sites, and then Jim's mum, who's played by Molly Cheek, walks in on him. The TV's a bit blurry, but he says, oh, it's a nature show. Instead, it's something else. And he got one while she was around, so he had to get the pillow. Jim's dad came in, who's played by Eugene Levy, who then took it, and I was like, oh, God, and then tried to turn it off. So this is kind of like, a funny film, really, comedy stuff, which I like. We then have Nadia, who's played by Shannon Elizabeth. Now, I remember she was in Scary Movie. I don't know if she was in any of the other Scary Movie films, but I know she was in the first one. Vicky, who's played by Tara Reid, she got into college, and her boyfriend, Kevin Myers, who's played by Thomas Ian Nicholas. There was a house party going on. Nadia was looking over at Jim, but he's this shy person who, doesn't like to talk to girls really, and when he does, he gets scared, whatever. Jim walked over, he just laughed and then just went away. We have Chris Ostriger, I think that is, played by Chris Klein, but probably just going to call him Chris or Oz. That's his nickname, really. We have Sean William Scott, who plays Steve Stifler, but goes by the nickname of Stifler. Michelle Flatley is played by Alison Hannon. We hear "Suck Me Beautiful," and then Stifler says, I can't remember who says that line though. Victoria is her first name, and then Latham, that's Vicky. Kevin was getting something from Vicky, and then she was like, tell me when. He went, now. He had this beer that he had on the side, and he literally just peed in the cup and just left it there. Then Stifler came in with Sarah, who's played by Eden Regel, and basically she said, oh, I've left my beer downstairs, whatever. Oh, you can have this one, whatever. She didn't drink it in the end. He drank it, was feeling a bit queasy, and then didn't feel good and threw up on Sarah. Then Kevin was like, hey, Stifle, how's the pale ale? Then these people, they came across a picture of Stifler's mum, who we see later on and is played by Jennifer Coolidge. And then we hear the classic saying MILF from these 2 guys, John and Justin. I don't remember the actor's name because I didn't write it down here, but I've got it in the next video because they're in, I think, all 4 films. And then MILF, what does it stand for? Mum I'd like to F, Then we have Chuck Sherman, or he calls himself the Shermanator. He's played by Chris Owen. And then he was like, I've got company, if you know what I mean. She's hot. The MILF guys were kissing Stifler's mum's photo. We have Paul Finch, who's played by Eddie K. Thomas. And all these 4, and excluding Stifler, they do, they have a pact. They make a pact to try and get laid before their graduation. So when prom happens, Chris decides to join a choir. Jim's dad, after seeing that incident with his son, he got Jim some magazines and had the talk with him. And then he looked in the drawer because Jim got some condoms off, I don't know if it was Kevin or someone, I'm not too sure, but like he looked in the drawer and was like, oh, okay. Then we have Heather, who's played by Mena Suvari, and then she becomes the love interest of Chris. Then we hear Oz or Chris saying, third base, it's like a warm apple pie. And Jim, he just thought, okay. And then he saw one at home and he decided to put his finger in it. Then his dad eventually comes home and finds him doing the pie. And he was like, let's just keep this between you and me. Let's not mention this to your mum. Kevin then found this secret book in the library. He called a friend and told him about this place of the book that would help him win over Vicky. Then Heather checked out Chris playing lacrosse. Dad came up for Vicky. Vicky said she's coming, but in the different way. Kevin wanted to make it up to her, and he made it up to her by doing something. Jim's dad wanted to talk to his son about masturbation because of what's been happening, but that's the character he is. He's that sort of person. We have Courtney, who's this random class girl played by Sasha Bareilles. Nadia was waiting for Jim outside the class, saying, do you want to study, whatever, and his friends were like, oh, set up a broadcast or something, because she said she was going to get changed. They were like, come on, set it up, whatever. So he was setting up the broadcast. He clicked Stifler and then Kevin, but then accidentally, a little Easter egg, accidentally clicks East High Directory. So he doesn't realise this, but it goes out to everyone in the school. So they're going to see him and Nadia, do something, which I'll get onto a bit. Heather asked Chris to prom, but then regretted the decision after she saw Stifler making fun or something, but then that's not him. He's more different. Nadia then came around to study, getting changed. Jim's dad was talking, but Jim was like, get out. Then after, Jim ran to Kevin's and saw her get changed, saw the boobs. Stifler's brother was watching. He was like, get off, it's my TV. But then was like, nice. We do see him in the next film as well, but he's a little bit older. Nadia then went through Jim's drawer, through the magazines, and was just lying there. So he then ran back and didn't knock before he opened the door. And then, so she was like, oh, don't. But then she was like, oh, you saw me? I see you. Strip, she says. He then strips, but then he throws his top over the camera so you don't see. But then it eventually falls off. But he was gonna leave, but then end up staying. He was just scared, really. He was shy, but he's never done it before. That's the sort of person he is. People were then picking on him on school, but he didn't know why. And then Nadia was on a plane back home after the video. The sponsors saw it. I think her sponsors saw it. Michelle was then speaking to Jim in class, talking about band camp. But then, Jim didn't have a date for the prom, so he asked Michelle. She said yes, thinking that she wouldn't have seen the incident, but she probably did. Then Heather saw Chris practicing the singing, came across him at work. Chris told Heather he did have a lacrosse match, but then halfway through he decided, no, I want to do the singing, and then came back. Steve gave Paul some Pentelix in his mochaccino, so basically this made him want to go to the toilet really badly, and Stifler said, right this way. He ended up leading him to the ladies' toilet. 3 girls were there, and he scared them off, and he didn't have a date for the prom. Chris left the game for Heather, like I said. Vic said she was ready for sex. She told Kevin. Prom, someone asked Paul to dance. I think it was Jess. But, like, I think he gave her $200 to help him find someone, but then she spent that money. Well, $50 on him for a flask, but then $150 for earrings on her, or a necklace. Which I'm like, okay. Then someone, the girl that was with Chuck on the night of the party, went up on the stage and then told him Sherman is a liar about having sex. And also he wets his pants when he's nervous. Kevin and Vic found a room, because they went to Stifler's house again. And then they found Steven Stifler's brother in the wardrobe. And he was like, you guys are going to F, aren't you? He's like, get out. Paul wanders, and he goes downstairs to this room, and he comes across Stifler's mum. Kevin finally said I love you to Vic. Bandcamp was actually sex ed. We hear that from Michelle. Stifler walks in on his mum and Paul. And then we see Jim. Finally, this is like a little snippet at the end. Jim and Nadia, were video chatting, and then Dad saw him stripping again, but then he just walked out and dancing. Overall, I would give this film 3 stars. Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.